as you would know, as a student of the game, politics moves in cycles. We've certainly seen that in the cycle towards decriminalisation of cannabis and harm minimisation. We're looking at the debate on pills testing. Where do you stand on that?
So the Liberal Democrats, my party, is the Libertarian Party, or classical Liberal, if you prefer. Our view is that the government should be only involved when it's to prevent harm to others. So, for example, bicycle helmets, we say, well, no one else is going to get hurt if you fall off and bash your head. So therefore, it's not the government's business, and therefore bicycle helmets may be advisable, but they shouldn't be compulsory.
Would that extend to motorcycle helmets?
Well, technically, I'm a motorcyclist myself, and it's not an issue that we're campaigning on, but bicycle helmets, the fact that they're obligatory does discourage people from riding bicycles, and it kills the bike rental schemes as well. So the rest of the world hasn't done it, whereas the rest of the world is using requires motorcycle helmets. I would never ride my motorbike without a helmet, so it's not an issue we're pursuing. So,
but if you don't wear one, you're not hurting anyone but yourself. Although,
yeah, right.
Your family left behind probably
they'd
argue with that.
Miss you. Yeah, they'd miss you, that's right.
Look, I'm a biker myself, but I just wonder if you apply the same logic to motorcycle helmets, you would probably not make them compulsory either, would you?
Well, that's correct, and there has been plenty of argument around that, and in fact in America now, where the libertarian philosophy is more firmly entrenched, they still have those arguments, even about seatbelts, for example.
Yeah.
But we in Australia, the Liberal Democrats, we pick our fights. We pick them on the basis of what we think is reasonable and not reasonable, and bicycle helmets are firmly in the unreasonable category. Now, some of the other subjects you're talking about, drugs, again, in most cases, the only person hurt is the person consuming them.
Yes.
So our view is that the government should be minimally involved. Prevent driving while on drugs, for example, because you will hurt others if you drive badly. Keep them out of the hands of children. And some drugs are seriously addictive, and they're clearly not desirable at all. In fact, I'm not a fan of any of them. But the question is, should you criminalise them or should you medicalise the issue of addiction? Portugal's gone down the path of medicalising the issues, the addiction issues. It's no longer something you get arrested for. It's something you get carted off to hospital for to be treated for addiction. Marijuana, cannabis, it's now totally legal for all purposes in 8 American states. Over 40 of them now allow medical use of cannabis, and I can tell you don't have to be terribly sick to get it in most of those states. So Australia is well and truly behind the times on cannabis. We've got the most arcane, bureaucratic, dreadful system for obtaining cannabis for medical uses in Australia. And
well, that's only because it's so very, very recent, and most of cannabis is tied up with scientific trials at the moment.
Oh, well, I don't know who told you that, but that story comes out of the health department, but it's not true on an international basis.
It's certainly not true on an international basis. If we've seen places like Colorado and Oregon, where once upon a time it was 3 strikes and you're in jail, totally legalise it for anyone over the age of 21, we certainly are behind the times. But where does that leave us with pill testing?
Well, look, in an ideal world, we wouldn't want people taking pills. Let's not equivocate about that.
Homemade pills, fair enough.
Yeah,
I understand that. Yeah.
And it's mostly kids who are taking them, and kids don't listen to old buggers like me, and so there's no point them just saying don't do it. There's no value in that. But kids have never taken any notice of adults telling things like that anyway. So what can we do to mitigate the risk? Pill testing is a way of mitigating the risk. If at least some of the smarter kids said, okay, I'm not going to take these pills that I've bought some from some unknown character at a music festival until I find out that they're not toxic, and they can get them tested and they're told, no, these ones aren't going to kill you, and they'll consume them. Well, that's a better outcome, in my view, than saying, well, I can't find out whether they're okay. I was assured by the bloke that I bought them from that they are okay, therefore I'll take it, and then end up dead. There'll be some kids who won't bother. They're risk takers by nature, especially males. But there will be some who will be cautious enough to get them tested. So I can't see what the objection is. It will save lives. It won't save all lives. We're talking about large numbers of people here, but it's not a total panacea. My only reservation is it shouldn't be paid for by taxpayers. It should be paid for by somebody else.
By the festival themselves.
The festival, correct,
okay.
yeah. That's